ask you this here, Pete, and I would encourage everybody, and I've been doing it for years, and I finally learned to just go the other way if I really want to make money. But go and check out Prisco's picks on CBSSports.com. He has a nice little capsule of why he thinks what's going to happen, and he gives you the predictions, and he obviously incorporates the point spread. It's really good. I'll tweet it out for you, Pete. But what's the game that you're really most locked into that you really just can't wait to watch?
Well, now each week I do best bets on Friday, so those will be up today. So
okay.
I got five of them, but I love the Bears. I love the Bears this week.
What?
You give me,
what?
Yeah, you give
Bears.
me 6.5. I think the Texans are the most overrated team in the league right now.
Oh, you mean on the line? I don't think you mean actually watching the Bears. You can't. I mean,
yeah.
I think
the Bears getting 6.5 is stealing. I mean, the Texans have line issues. They have, you look at, they lost their starting center. The left tackle has a quadriceps injury. The right tackle didn't play all preseason. Then you go to the other side of the ball. J.J. Watt is playing, but he's also coming off back surgery. You can't just say he's going to go in there and be the same guy. It's back injury. Anybody who's had a back injury knows how troubling they can be for the long haul. So I like the Bears to keep that one close, plus the 6.5.
But you can't possibly like the Bears to be good this year. Just real quickly,
no,
right?
Absolutely not.
All right, good.
No.
Just making sure. There's a couple of teams that we have identified in our preseason as we had analyzed a lot of these teams and did season previews. One of them is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, they open it on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, and the maturation of Jameis Winston last year was phenomenal. The physical maturation of him this year looks amazing. What should be our expectation of the Bucs?
I think offensively they're going to be pretty good, and I'm a big believer in Jameis Winston. I mean, the kid loves it. He lives it. He understands the passing game. He comes to the line of scrimmage, knows where to go with the football. I mean, he's going to be one of the stars in this league at the quarterback position. But you go to the other side of the ball. Mike Smith takes over running the defense. He used to run the Tampa too, as you know.
Yep.
And the problem is they're little.
Yeah.
They're not a big defense. And in Mike Smith's defensive scheme, he needs bigger players. So I think they might be a year away on defense. They're going to be in a lot of shootouts, I think, this year.
We're talking to Pete Prisco, of course, CBS Sports NFL columnist. So just to be clear, in addition to picking all the games, you actually give an update. So you take your five best plays, and you put that out on Fridays?
Yes.
Okay.
On Fridays.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And the Bears, obviously. It's funny. When you first said that, I didn't necessarily mean a point spread. I just meant like a fun game to watch. I'm like, the Bears. This guy had an interest. What are you going to smoking the peace pipe out there in the den? I don't know. Where's this guy? The Bears.
Yeah, we're looking at
but
each
I
other.
got you.
We're looking at each other on this side, Pete.
I'll give you one that's going to be an upset. Is Jacksonville's going to be Green Bay this week.
Okay, good, because I had that circled and I was going to get there. Revamped defense, souped-up offense, a lot of pressure on Gus Bradley, and I think we all think the Packers should win, 12-ish, 13 games-ish, I think. You really think they straight up win the game, huh?
I do. And by the way, when I played out the season pick by pick, which I do every year, I had Green Bay losing that opener at Jacksonville and then ripping off 15 straight and then ripping off 3 in the postseason to win it all. So think about that. And you think that's crazy, but go take a look at Green Bay's schedule this year. Mm-hmm. There are a few challenging games, Seattle, but it's at home, and their schedule is really favorable. I'm telling you, they can run the table. But in Jacksonville, it's going to be 94, and the humidity is going to be like 80%. And Green Bay, it's been a hot summer in Green Bay, but it's not this hot. It's not this kind of hot. And I think that's going to be a problem. I think Jacksonville's improved defense with Ramsey and Jackson to get on the field and Dante Fowler and Malik Jackson. We saw Denver miss Malik Jackson in the worst way last night. I think they're going to be better on defense. And that offense of Jacksonville, you go up and down the board. People say the left guard is a weak spot with Joko moving in there, but he's going to be a much better guard than tackle. Mm-hmm. And they got tons of weapons. The running backs, Ivory and Yeldon, are both going to run the ball better this year. I think Jacksonville is going to win that game outright.
Listen, Pete, I picked them to win the AFC South, so you're going to have to sell me on the Jaguars. I like them a lot. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to actually win this game, although you may just convince me given the weather and a few other things. I'm with you on Green Bay. They've got a chance to win, as I said, 12, 13, maybe 14 games. My question about the Jaguars, though, and it's a philosophical thing. We know about their wide receiver weapons. We know that Blake Bortles can sling it. We know that they have a good tight end who can make vertical plays. But with the pickup of Ivory, they also have a chance to do what all winning teams usually do, and that's bleed out the clock in the final 5 or 6 minutes by going run heavy. Will they make that transition seamlessly, or do you think that they might struggle for a while to find the proper balance between pass and run?
Well, I think what they have to do, and this is what I would do, since they can throw the ball around so well, like you said, and Bortles emerged last year and got all those weapons. And by the way, another one has emerged this summer, Mark DC, finally on the field. He gives them something they don't have, which is the wiggle and the speed in the middle of the field. So, yeah, I think you got to be careful with that. They need to throw to score and run to win. And that, to me, is the formula for every team in this league. It should be anyway. You score, you get up 14 or whatever, you get up 10, and in the fourth quarter, you pound, and bleed that clock.
Yeah.
And go home with your victory. That's what they need to do. By the way, Brandon, they didn't score touchdowns in the run game at all on the goal line last year. I think they had 3 rushing touchdowns. And so that's something that Ivory will give them a better chance of getting this year.
Oh, trust me, as a Jets fan, I lauded the move. They got themselves a workhorse, no doubt. Pete Prisco, CBS Sports NFL columnist with us here on Tiki and Tierney.
And Pete, a lot has been made about the Sam Bradford trade to the Minnesota Vikings. And in my thought, I'm saying, you can start, in my head, I'm thinking, just start Sean Hill. He's been there. He's learned it, enough of that offense where he can be viable, even if it's just for a week. But then I go look at the schedule and see who the Vikings are playing. They're playing at Tennessee. So unless they just get grounded and pounded to death by that two-headed running back committee in Tennessee, it's actually a pretty safe game for Sam Bradford to get his feet wet under Norv Turner's system. Do you think that happens?
I would play him right away, and I think the Titans are expecting him to play right away. Me, personally, go in there. You're right. That game's going to be over in 2 hours and 30 minutes because Adrian Peterson's going to pound the football, and we know Mike Mularkey's taken offense back to the 1970s with his decision to play ground and pound. So it'll be over in 2 hours and 30 minutes. Your quarterback won't have to do that much. A couple play-action passes down the field. I'm with you. I'd get on with him and play Bradford.
Hey, Pete, you've been around the league a long time. You're incredibly piped in every coast, every city. What are you hearing about? What do you think Seattle actually is planning to do on Sunday before the game?
You mean in terms of their
demonstration,
the unification? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly they're going to do, but they're going to do something. And people are going to get offended by it. And when I do it,
not if it's done right.
Here's the great thing about our country. They have the right to do it.
Yep.
I mean, that's their right. If you believe that, you can do it. Now, there are some people who say in the workplace you can do some things. You can't do some things that you could do while you're out of the workplace. For example, we all know you work for companies. You can't do something inside the building that you could do outside the building. Something there are workplace restrictions, and so the NFL might look at it and say, hey, we have a workplace here too. You got to be restricted. But I think I'm a big believer, just like Kaepernick. Would I have done what he did? No, but he has the right to do that, and so does everybody else this Sunday.
With you on both counts. All right, Pete Prisco, Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. This is kind of a real loose interpretation of the season. There's just so many variables, and I know you can't incorporate all of them. You can't predict health, but if I were to ask you, Pete, knowing the totality of all the rosters, the balance on offense and defense, the coaching staffs, how many teams do you think, and name them, do you really think can win the Super Bowl this year? Start listing the teams that you think are legitimate Super Bowl contenders.
New England.
Okay.
Cincinnati.
Yep.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Boy, that's it. That might be it in the AFC, although Denver can get better quarterback play because I think Lynch is going to take over at some point. The other kid, Dinkin Duncan, didn't drive the ball down the field and pass on shots. I know everybody raved about him, but I think Lynch will be in there. If he can get in there and throw the ball down the field, then they will be. There's 4 in the NFC.
You're not buying the Raiders at all?
No.
Okay.
I think they're overhyped.
Wow.
And, in fact, Jacksonville will win the division, like you said, because it's a bad division.
Yep.
The Raiders won't win the division because it's a better division.
Agreed.
With the Chiefs and the Broncos in there. But next year, Jacksonville and Oakland will be really good.
Okay, what about the NFC? We got the Pats, Cincy, Pitt, and Denver. Go ahead.
Packers, Cardinals, Seahawks, Panthers, and that might be it. Although I'm a big believer. I think the Giants are going to bounce back this year. I think the Giants will be better than they were a year ago. You spend all that money on defense, you got to be better. I think JPP will be better. I'm a little concerned about the offensive line.
Yep, that's the only big concern.
That's a big concern, though.
Eli will chuck the potato around and throw it around and do some big things.
Yeah, no,
I think
Pete,
the Giants going to be better.
Pete, I got to tell you, it just kills me as a former Giant running back just to realize they have 0 run game. I mean, it is depressing.
Now, what else is new? It's been a while.
It's been a while, but they have as good a pass game as there is in the National Football League when they're on.
Yeah, and they're going to score points because he's good, and they're I think getting Cruz back, whatever he gives them, will be better than what they had last year. And I think Shepard's going to be a hell of a player. So I think offensively they're going to be better throwing the football even than they were a year ago. And people think Eli had a bad year. He didn't have a bad year.
No, who thinks
No,
Eli had a bad
no,
year?
no,
Everybody thinks he had a good year.
The Giants had a bad year.
Yeah, the Giants had a bad year. And look at the perception of Eli, though. I think Eli's.
Yeah,
that's
people who don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's the uninformed. That's the uninformed. When you go look at what he
Eli
actually
was
did,
phenomenal. One of his best seasons.
I mean, hell, if it wasn't for Eli, they might not have won a game.
They may have had a top 3 draft pick.
You're right.
Pete,
I think they win the division. By the way, everybody's on the.
So do I.
Tap the brakes.
So do I, Pete.
Redskins or the Cowboys. Take it easy, Prisco. All right,
No,
buddy.
I got to see Kirk Cousins do it again. He had that year, but there's always that guy who has that year, and then the next year he comes back. Nick Foles or even Fitzpatrick when he was at Buffalo. You see these guys flash, and then they become who they are. That's who you are.
That's why he's Pete Prisco, and that's why you're not. Pete, very well done. Good stuff. Read them online. If you're into waging and throwing a